Welcome back to Viking Recreation Center. We are in the final stepladder round of the Ultimate Ladder tournament of the Pro Series, and in this match, this is actually the first match of the last stepladder. You're looking at the number 5 seed Jim Ayotte, who is taking on the number 4 seed Chris Sacchetti. Or actually, it's the other way around. Chris Sacchetti is the number 5 seed. Jim Ayotte is 4th. In any case, the winner of this match will take on number 3 seed Jeff Slazinski in the quarterfinal match. The winner of that match will take on Rich Myrick, who is the 2nd seed. And the last match will feature that the winner of the previous ladder matches against top seed Dave Barber. Jim Ayotte starts off with a couple of solid head pin hits, and each time he punches through the middle. He starts off with a 10 box, and in the second he's looking to work his way out of it, a split, and he gets an 8 box, so he's got 18 after 2. That brings up Chris Sacchetti. Chris was the high qualifier in the 3-string qualifying round. He had 392, and it was he had kind of a tough road to get there because he started off with an 88 game, but he followed that up with a 166 and a 138, so that gave him the top score with 392, and then he won his ladder match against Corey Packard. Chris Sacchetti bowls out of Lanes and Games in Cambridge, where he also works. And as you saw, Chris had a spare in the first box, and he fills it with 7, leaving a difficult lead, 5, 6, and 10. And he gets the 6-10, but can't get the 5, so he will be open in the second, but he'll have a chance to gain a little more ground against the 8 box by Jim Ayotte, and it's a 10 by Chris Sacchetti. So Chris leads by 9 through 2 boxes. Jim Ayotte qualified 22nd with 349, and that put him down at the bottom of his initial ladder, so he had to win 4 matches, and he had some pretty tough opponents: Chris Bover, Mike Regal, Dave Godwin, and Joe Rocheleau, to work his way up to this final ladder. And again, he punches through the middle, but this time he gets a little bit of a break, leaving the 3, 6, 10, and that is a tough break right there. He hit the 3 pin, but the ball went right around the 6, came off the wall, and took out the 10. So he'll be open in the third with a 10 box. Jim Ayotte seems to like this Ultimate Ladder format. You'll recall he did quite well in the tournament of the same format at New Palace Lanes in Fitchburg last year. Jim drops 9, leaving a 5 pin, and he wants that second wood to roll off, which it does. So he's just got this 1 piece of wood, and I don't think he's going to have too much trouble with it. Well, he seemed a little concerned for a moment that it might spin around the 5, but it is a spare in the 4th for Jim Ayotte. Chris Sacchetti fires in the 3rd frame, and that is a strike, and a pretty authoritative one at that, really quick. Let's have a look at this on replay. Very, very solid 1-2 pocket hit, and those all 10 pins go down in a hurry. So Chris has got still a 9-pin lead, but he can add to it with whatever he puts on the strike. And in the 4th, he'll be up against that spare that Jim Ayotte recorded. So that is a nice ball by Chris, but he has a really difficult split. Probably just try and take the 2 in the corner and get the most maximum fill on the strike. See if he can put an 8 on it. And that's exactly what he does. So Chris will have an open frame in the fourth. He's still got the 5 and 10. And that'll be a 9 box. So through 4, as you can see, Chris Sacchetti has 54 and Jim Ayotte 38 with a ball. Jim is trailing by 16, but he'll reduce that by whatever he gets on this first ball. And he had 7, giving him 45 through the fourth. So it's just a 9-pin lead now for Chris Sacchetti. 3, 6, 7. Let's see what he can do with this. And just hit the 3-pin pretty full. So it'll be an open in the fifth. Be a 9 box for Jim Ayotte. Jim, as you can see from the back of his shirt, bowls on the Extreme TNT team in the World Invitational Team Tournament in November. Chris Sacchetti is a member of Crazy Train. And that is an 8 drop for Jim Ayotte, leaving the 1 and 2, and he's got it for a spare in the 6th. Pretty important spare because Chris Sacchetti is... wow, and there's another strike by Chris. Let's have a look at this one. It's pretty similar to the one that he threw in the 3rd frame. Just solid 1-2 pocket hit. This time the 7-pin was a little bit slower to go down, but it's another strike for Chris. So he's got a lead of 10 pins plus the strike fill. 64 through the 5th plus 2 balls to fill. And he drops, not sure if that's 6 or 7. Can't quite tell if the 9-pin is still standing. With 3, 5, and 8. In any case, it's a 9 on the strike. So Chris leads by 19 momentarily for the time being, but Jim Ayotte's working on a spare in the 6th. So it's a 19-pin deficit for Jim, minus the fill that he puts on this next ball. The winner of this match will be taking on Jeff Slazinski, who is kind of a surprising finalist in this tournament. Hasn't appeared in a lot of Pro Series events, but he's a regular on the Western New England Tour, and he's really done a great job today mowing down everybody in his ladder. And there's a nice spare by Jim Ayotte. Let's have a look at it. He hits the right side of the 3, and that piece of wood to the left of the 10-pin might have made the difference, because he hit the 3 kind of full. And I think without that wood, he might not have taken the 10-pin. In any case, it's 2 spares in a row for Jim Ayotte. And he would like nothing better than to put another one up on the board. And he misses the head pin, but he's got 7. 1, 3, and 6. Pretty makeable spare right here. And this would be... it would help the cause a great deal. And he's got it. Let's take a look at this. The 3-pin comes off the wall to get the 6. So that is 3 spares in a row for Jim Ayotte. So he's making a match out of this. Chris Sacchetti has 83 after 6. And Jim Ayotte with 99 plus a spare up in the 8th. So let's see what whether he has an answer. Well, he's got the 4 horsemen left side. Nice piece of wood behind the 2 and 4, so if he can catch the left side of the head pin, this should go. And it does. Spare in the 7th. So Chris has 93 plus a ball to 89 for Jim Ayotte. And there is another strike by Chris Sacchetti. Can't really show you a replay because he was in the way of the last couple of pins to go, but as you can see, Chris Sacchetti leads by 14 pins through 8, 113 to 99, with each bowler working on a mark. Jim Ayotte with a very important fill here. And he goes right through the middle. He did what he had to do. He nailed the head pin, but he got a little too much of it and left a spread eagle. And threw the ball right in the same place. So Jim will be looking to have an out here. And then he'll definitely need a mark in the 10th. Probably could use a double. Jim has a 6 box, so he has 109 through the 9th. He needs a big finish in the 10th. And, well, he misses the head pin and gets a very difficult leave. 1, 3, 7, 8, 10. This is makeable, but it's not easy. And he punches the head pin straight back, so that's probably going to mean that Chris Sacchetti is not going to have to work very hard to close this one out and move on to the next round against Jeff Slazinski. They're kind of cracking up Jim with some comments from the peanut gallery. Let's see if he can pull off a shot on this last ball. Well, no, just it seemed like he was on the object pin for most of that string, but too full. And the same is true on that last ball. So it's a 116 game for Jim Ayotte. And Chris Sacchetti already has 113 with the ball, and so with that ball he actually mathematically won the match. So Chris Sacchetti will be moving on to the next round. But Jim Ayotte will pick up a 5th place check, which is a pretty good day's work. As I mentioned, he had to get through 4 matches just to get here. So that's a pretty good day of bowling for Jim. Chris Sacchetti will finish up on the left lane, lane 5. Once again, the 4 horsemen with some wood. And he's got it. So one more ball for Chris Sacchetti to finish up. 139 with the fill ball to throw. And that's a 7 fill. So that is a 146 game. Great bowling by Chris Sacchetti. He defeats Jim Ayotte, and Chris will be bowling Jeff Slazinski in the next round.